Hello and welcome to Mean Green 24/7's film breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at North Texas run defense, a defense that has allowed 568 yards on the ground in 2 games against Southern Miss and SMU. So there's a lot to look at here. Let's get started. So here we have a play against Southern Miss. We'll run through it one time real quick. Frank Gore gets the carry, hits the seam, breaks a loose tackle at the end, and gets a touchdown. So when we go back and we watch this play from the beginning, we see the alignment, right? North Texas 3-3-5 defense is what everyone's been talking about. 1, 2, 3. Then you have your linebackers 1, 2, 3, and then the rest at defensive back. So if we clear this, we will see, and obviously they are in 21 personnel here with tight end and 2 backs. So if we start the play, let's run at a little slower speed here. What you're going to see at this point right here is what North Texas has been struggling with all season. You see 2 offensive linemen able to get upfield and take both linebackers. The tight end be able to kick out the other tight end, and then you have a H-back here that's basically going to go one-on-one with the defensive back. And when that happens, you have this wide open lane for the running back. So if we clear it, we run it through a little bit more, you see that's exactly what happens. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and then a couple, there's nothing really the defensive back can do at that point. Watch how they handle Dion Noville up front here. Again, Dion Noville is North Texas' best player. He's the one we were looking for to kind of stuff the run for North Texas. And what Southern Miss does here is really interesting in that they know that they're running this way. And so they have their left guard here kind of crash down and seal him on that side of the play. And then the center is able to get upfield, and so is the left tackle. And when you watch that, it kind of makes it easier to see how they were able to create that hole. When the linebackers are accounted for the way that they are here, it leaves too much for this secondary to kind of do, because then you have 2 guys here going against 2 guys here. And at the end of the day, that's going to be a touchdown more times than it's not. Now, on this play, one thing I want to notice right off the bat is the amount of defensive backs North Texas has on the field. We know that North Texas was depleted against Southern Miss, and as a result, they have linebackers here, but all these other players, you have Mikhail Sanders, you have Quinn Whitlock, you have Upton Stout, I believe that's Cam Johnson, and you have all these defensive backs on the field. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs. So you're basically in a 3-2-6 at this moment right now on a 1st and 10 inside of the 25. So when you look at that, then when the play happens, you kind of understand a little bit more why Southern Miss is able to lean on North Texas the way that they did. In the 4th quarter, you have guys tired. You don't have a lot of options here, and as a result, they're going to get these carries with some ease. All right, this is going to be the same problem that North Texas had last time. If you watch when the ball snapped, there's going to be let's see if Abraham snaps it. All right. Again, same exact thing here. Linemen get up the field. They move. They don't even account for the defensive end because the tight end's going to come and have a kick out block here as they block down over there. So when that happens, the running back is going to have a pretty nice seam here, and that puts all the pressure on these defensive backs. Defensive backs are having to make tackles here because these linebackers are just swallowed up by offensive linemen. It doesn't matter how big your linebackers are, how fast they are. As soon as these offensive linemen get hands on them, the play's pretty much over for them. They're too big. So again, defensive back making tackle. Mikhail Sanders, one of the best run-stopping defensive backs North Texas has. It's still going to be tough for him to, consistently make those tackles and, be in position and have to make those tackles. That's not what you want. Preferably, you want your linebackers to make tackles, but, with the depleted North Texas roster, it's going to be tough. So here's the play again. Again, 1st down, you're giving them 8-9 yards. This is when North Texas really needed to stop as well when you look at the situation. This is in the 4th quarter. All right, here SMU is in 1st and goal situation already with a sizable lead. Again, North Texas in their 3-5 defense. So we see North Texas in their base defense, and SMU is going to run a little zone here for Ulysses Bentley, and it gets stuffed up pretty well. So let's give North Texas its credit when it does something well. And they handled this really well because we know that they have some speed at linebacker. This is Larry Nixon. This is Kyla Powell. Kyla Powell had 12 tackles this game. He played well. They are going to be able to shoot the gap really well here. And you'll be able to notice that the defensive tackle here really occupies the space of both of these guys here. And then you have the edge taking up space there. And that really opens up a lane for North Texas to attack the ball. I'm not sure why SMU is running a zone to the weak hash, but, you know, they're in control, so maybe they're just trying things at this point. So here's the play. Really nice play by Larry Nixon, and good pursuit of the ball by everyone else. We don't spend too much time on this, but I wanted to give a little bit of credit there and show the speed of North Texas defense. We'll play one more time here. As you'll see, they come boom, boom. Very good pursuit of the ball by both linebackers. All right, now this is the fourth quarter against SMU. SMU has been in control all game. This highlights a few of my biggest takeaways when watching this defense and kind of how they have approached the run defense. First thing is tackling. North Texas has talked about it all week, every single week, after every single game. Just their tackling has not been good this season. It also shows the reliance on the secondary, which we've seen year after year in a 3-3-5 defense, how they rely on their safeties to make play after play, and sometimes it's just not feasible in situations when your linebackers are just getting swallowed up like that. They're better. North Texas has been better against outside runs, but as you'll see here, they are still very susceptible to it because in the 3-3-5, the linebackers have a little bit more mobility to where they can go left to right faster, and if you're in a four-man front, then you're kind of occupied there. However, in any defense, obviously, you want these guys right here to not give up anything left vertically, right? You want them to go east and west, not north and south, as they all coaches say. So the hope is that in a 3-3-5 defense is that you have these guys kind of take the middle. You have your outside guys, your safeties, and especially your corners set the edge, and then your free safety-ish kind of guys like Mikhail Sanders and guys like that kind of come down and shoot those gaps. North Texas is doing that. However, they're not making tackles, and they're really not getting they're not shedding as many blocks up front as I feel like they need to. Because, yes, it's a great situation where you have a one-on-one here, and if you make tackle, yes, it's great. However, they're not getting those plays where the defensive ends are getting a shed here and making a play, or Dion Noville is breaking through and getting here, or there's a miscommunication, they're taking advantage of it. They're not getting any of that, and that's really where the problems stem from. Also, they're very undermanned. We have to talk about that. I mean, you can't just gloss over the fact that they don't have a few of their starters, and they're having to play a lot of young guys in a lot of positions. So that's a lot, maybe where the poor tackling comes from as well. And like I've said before, the offensive line is getting to the second level pretty easily. They'll do the same thing here. You'll see once it happens. I'll roll through this play. We'll all remember this play once you see it, but here it is. Shane Buechele will call check the line. And yeah, you have Larry Nixon at the top here. And there's Ulysses Bentley. Makes a man miss, and he's gone. I'm not going to make y'all watch every second of him going to the end zone, but you get the point. Boom, that's it. One picked up, second picked up. The edge is set pretty well here. I believe that's Larry Nixon. He gets upfield here and kind of sets the edge, and so does the defensive back who's behind him. You can't really see, but he's back there setting the edge. So this is what you kind of want in a 3-3-5 defense, all right? You're going to have the running back hit this hole, and you're going to have to make this tackle. And especially on a 3rd and 1, this is something you kind of live with as a defense. You want this play action right here. You want that to be where the action takes place. And worst case, you kind of have a guy here. But then again, they're getting to the second level, and it's tough for this defense. So let it play through. You see in slow motion, maybe a little hole of 71 there. All right, for comparison's sakes, we're going to look at 2018 Kansas real quick, just this one play against Texas. Now we're going to stop it at a certain point here. Again, 2nd and 4. Oh, we'll get Sam Allinger off the screen. All right, here we go. As you can see, Kansas, again, Clint Bowen, Kansas. Look how tight these three defenders are. This is a 3-3-5 defense still, but look how tight they are. And when the ball is snapped, you'll see that these defensive ends crash a little bit more. All right, it's not as vertical as maybe you've seen in recent games here. And then this linebacker kind of gets kicked out, and it occupies these 3 interior offensive linemen for Texas, so they can't get up the field as easily. And so when you let the play run, and it allows this linebacker specifically to get around. So just watch how it kind of plays out here. Obviously, there's different levels of players and, you know, all that good stuff, but at the core of it, it's still the same thing here. And I wouldn't be surprised if North Texas kind of took a different approach here and had those 3 guys maybe tighten up a little bit and maybe slant and slide a little bit more, because you just see the congestion in here, and congestion is what opens up the field for these linebackers to kind of find their holes. And if they're not getting blocked right off rip from the corners or from the interior linemen, then it really opens up the field for them. So again, we're going to watch one more time. Again, crash, crash, crash. This man knows that they're crashing as well, so that helps him. He comes out and fills. He has the outside edge, and just like that, you have a stop.